Our schools should be cathedrals of achievement and higher learning. We ought to have the greatest opportunities in the classroom to yield the greatest opportunities in life. But what happens when a child is stuck in a failing school? Then those opportunities are illusory. They're a fiction. And so we then have an obligation to go and help those students. Not just the students that are the bright students, the self-motivated students at a failing school who in many instances are wasting their time with teachers who aren't effectively communicating new learning strategies to them. Not just those students, but to the most challenged students. I mean, I hear my colleagues and my friends on the back rows speak passionately about students who have unique challenges from economic circumstances and family circumstances. And it's those students, when they're trapped in a failing school, who will never have the opportunity, if they come in challenged, to leave in a better place if they're stuck in a failing school. So what is it then that we can do to turn these schools around? That's the only relevant question for us to answer. And if we listen to the opponents of this bill, the members of the minority party, they come with the same stale answers that they've had for years that have been rejected. They say, look, if we've got a problem, let's just throw more money at it without accountability, without requirements. You know, if there's a failing teacher, give them a pay raise. Don't require that they improve their learning strategies. If we've got an administrator who isn't forcing change in a school so that achievement will rise, let's just give that administrator more resources. If we have a school district that's become an apologist for failure, let's just give them more per pupil funding. Heck, I would think that the opponents of this bill would say that if we had a janitor who wasn't cleaning up in the cafeteria, let's give them a raise too, maybe a promotion. That's not the right answer. It's not the right answer at all, because stubbornly funding failure is not a solution. Stubbornly funding failure is the opposite of an intelligent strategy to help the most vulnerable students achieve more. So I say, let's shake things up a little bit. Let's recognize that while failing schools abandon children, parents never do. Parents never abandon children. And so if schools are unwilling to change, we have a moral obligation to force that change, to force the change. And parents can do it. They're uniquely qualified to force that change. They are armies of compassion in our parents, and they're ready to take the battlefield, and I say we let them. So what's so scary about that? Why would people be so opposed to letting parents have this voice and to be able to affect this change? Here's why there's so much opposition to this bill. Here's why. Because when we give parents the keys, they're not going to be wedded to a failing strategy. They're not going to be wedded to failing people. If there's a principal that's only a principal because their buddies or the superintendent or a school board member, they used to coach a football team. Our parents won't be wedded to teachers' unions that seem to be more connected at times than the parents are in the decision-making process. So if you need to vote no, I guess vote no. I would think that that would highlight a lack of vision beyond anything other than what the teachers' union talking points read. But if you want to vote no, we can't stop you. But here's what we can do. We can empower parents. And parents who are empowered, boy, once we empower them, there'll be no legislator, no special interest group, and no teachers' union that's going to stop them from forcing change in these schools, because they'll be fighting for their children that they love. We've heard the same assaults on standardized testing and accountability. I've said it in this chamber before, and I'll say it again. As long as we've got a scoreboard on the football field on Friday night, this House and this majority will keep the scoreboard up in the classroom. And with that, I yield my time back to the leader.